Welcome back to NOLA Wargaming. Big Fat here with another battle report. It's been 6 weeks or so since my last battle report, and I have to apologize for that. It's largely due to a strange combination of weddings, birthdays, a new job, my house getting broken into, and some health problems I have that refuse to go away. So, well, I'm back for now, and this is great. I've got this battle report from a few weeks back. You'll notice it's the 9th Age 7.0 beta. It's not the beta that just came out, the 9.0. I've got 5 or 6 battle reports all sitting in my computer just waiting to get posted up here. So this game is against a friend of mine, Lil Ed. And Little Ed has a very unique army. He has an Undying Dynasties army where he's replacing all of the models with midgets. Mostly goblin models with skeleton heads, but he's got a lot of very good conversions in here. And as he goes, he's making all these models shorter and shorter, and it's actually pretty funny. Further ado, let's move on. So here's the left side of the table. There's the skeleton chariots. He's got I think those are the GW direwolves pulling his chariots, and then he's got these little midget skeletons riding on the back. He's got a friend of mine who's going to paint these things up, which is great because, like I said, the army looks fantastic. He's got the Winged Reapers sitting behind that building right there, and he's just going to pop those things out and move forward. The Scarab Swarms he scouted right there. He knew that I had Vanguard on a couple of units, and he just put the scouts right in front of him to keep me from vanguarding. Here's the right side of the table. He's got a Prince on a Battle Sphinx over there, which is he likes that bubble weapon skill thing, and it works really well for him in a couple of games that I've seen him play. But most of his army is concentrated right here in the center of the table. And here's the right side, and there's those swarms again, just sitting there, getting in my way. And you'll see them again in 1 second. Oh, look, there they are, right in the way of my Yetis. Back then, this is during that beta where the Yetis could vanguard, which was really awesome, and I enjoyed it a lot. And he knew I liked to vanguard the Yetis, and he stopped that right then and there. Fortunately, once the Yetis get past these swarms, there's not a whole lot beyond that. As you saw, it's just the stalkers. And there's the Slave Giant. I don't have any magic in this army, so I have a Warlord just in that unit of tribesmen with shields. And on the other side, I've got my BSB in with the Ironclads, Frosthorn to kind of radiate that 6-inch initiative 0, and then the right side, just the Slave Giant, those Ogre Mercenaries with the pistols, poison, and stubborn. And I'm just going to use them to, well, hit stuff and move forward. I'm not sure why I put them all the way on this flank, but they've definitely got a purpose in this army, particularly since this right side of the table has a lot of stuff on it. All right, so here's the Undying Dynasties magic. He's only got the one level 4. He's got the additional attacks. He's got the ward save. He can lower my toughness, and I think Cursed Blades gives him Killing Blow or reroll the wound if he's already got it. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Anyway, let's move on. So here's turn 1. Good old Undying Dynasties. So he's just moving up. He's going to try to pin me where I am and keep me here while he just moves forward and forces me against the table edge. I actually don't mind this too much. I don't mind the Giant moving up a little bit and charging this Cav. The Swarms I actually like where they are, because if I can't charge beyond, he won't be able to charge me either. And those guys, even if they aren't in combat, are really, really lethal in range because they've got the two shots poison, which is awesome. So the right side just kind of, it moves up a bit, just shambles forward. And there's our Cav unit just staring at the Slave Giant, daring him to do something. And there are the swarms, moving up, just trying to make sure they're in the way of the Yetis. So he throws out the Righteous Smiting on his archers, which are sitting in that unit, and sitting in that building. So he's going to get a whole bunch of shots. And nothing. That he misses with all of his shooting with them. I think he has some 30 shots there, and he missed with all of them. It didn't do any wounds. He was aiming at the Giant. And here's my turn. He actually didn't make any shooting at all. I mean, he missed everything. He was pretty funny. So my first turn, I'm going to get rid of those swarms. And obviously, I make that charge. It wasn't much. Giant on the other side, it's going to hit those cav, and he's just going to obliterate them, or he should. And like I said, I'm going to leave those swarms there, and I'm just going to kind of move around him and make sure he can't charge me, which is more important to me. The rest of my army just moves forward. I think I can take most of what's over here. I've got ranks. He doesn't really have any ranks, so he's going to have to hit me with a bunch of stuff and whittle those ogres down. I really like the fact that the tribesman with shields over here, -1 to hit, really makes the tribesman very good. It was by far my favorite thing when I picked up shields and ogres. Over here, giant just kind of shambles forward, and the yetis over there just start to move forward as well. They're going to face off against the stalkers, so I think the giant should be able to take out the sand stalkers. Here's a shot of the left side of the table, and this is my shooting phase. So, as you can see, his tomb prints over there is kind of lying on the ground. Yeah, those are my poison shots. He took 5 wounds and just died right then and there. He didn't have too much of an armor save. He just didn't expect me to just snipe that guy right off the bat. I didn't do anything special. I mean, it was just the man-eaters firing across the table. I can't tell you how sad he was when this guy just died. Apparently, he had just almost single-handedly helped him. It had helped him win a couple of games before this, and it's kind of the central part of the army. So, here's the yetis. There are the yetis. Yeah, I bet you thought that was going to be a difficult combat. I didn't kill off the cav in the first try. I didn't do very much. The giants are notoriously unreliable. I did 1 wound. He did no wounds. I won by 2, and he just, crumbled another couple of guys. Just the way the giants go sometimes. But in this beta patch, there were only 140 points. I love giants. I own a ton of giants. Actually, well, 4 to be specific now. I just like to put these guys on the table, and that's what got me into Warhammer Fantasy. So that's why I have so many of them. All right, moving on to turn 2. So he's determined to knock me out. Like I said, he's got to hit me with a whole bunch of units to be able to take out that unit up there. It's got my warlord in it. It's got a whole bunch of guys at -1 to hit. So he's going to hit him with the Colossus, the Swarm, the Shopties. Not the Swarm, but I mean the Scorpion. The problem is like I said, it's at -1 to hit with most of the stuff, even though I think all of this is weapon skill 4 and greater. And I know that Necrolith Colossus, the War Colossus, is absolutely an absolute terror now. And here's the other side of the table. He's trying to hit the flank of that Iron Gut unit with those chariots. He's trying to get the Winged Reapers in with the giant. We'll see. These are all longer charges, so we'll see if he makes any of these. The other ones are pretty short charges. Yeah, he makes all those charges on the right, and the Shopties, the Colossus, and the Scorpion. But it's just he's got to knock out 2 ranks. So he's got to knock out 2 ranks in Ogre and do 1 more casualty after that. So 7 Ogres minimum to break my steadfast, because I'm going to knock out at least 1 of those Shopties on the left. I mean, that's just a lot of damage he's going to have to do, and he's got to do it at -1 to hit. And like I said, I've got a Warlord in the unit, and I think she's built with +3 attacks and a Potion of Might, so she'll pick up Strength 7. She'll be Strength 7 with 8 attacks, and that's pretty powerful right there. There's the Winged Reapers getting in, and the chariots do not make it into those ironclads. Like I said, it was a long charge. I think he needed like an 11 or something like that. He couldn't make it. Here's the right side of the table. Those guys are all the archers are just preparing to shoot at the giant right there. Like I said, he had terrible shooting that other time. He figures that this time will go better. So here's more movement. There's the Soul Colossus moving up so that he can hang around and be near the wizard. The wizard is actually in the building with all those archers. Desiccation. So he lowers my toughness 1. I couldn't stop everything. It was a 6-4 magic phase. So I did what I could, and most of the stuff he was wounding on 2s anyway, so he's still wounding on 2s. I think only the Scorpion gets better by this. He does lower my strength, which isn't great, but I'm not expecting to do tons of damage. I really just need to knock out 1 one Shopti, and then I can get everything in and knock out the rest. I mean, these are monsters. They don't have a ton. They really have to plow through a lot of wounds in the ogres. Yep, here's the shooting. Those guys totally whiffed. Again. I don't know. He's got a lot of shooting attacks, and he's not doing anything with them. It's pretty funny. He loves the new Sandstalkers, but they're really underperforming this game. Yep, and they're shooting on the other side. They do nothing to my Ogre Mercenaries down there. Nothing at all. Like I said, he's got a lot of shots, and he's not getting anything through. It's a big investment, and it's not paying off. Oh, look, he finally gets a wound. That's the archers shooting at the giant. He managed to push one wound through with another, I don't know, 20 shots or so, or something along those lines. Like I said, 2 turns, and he's been shooting everything, and he's managed to put through one wound so far. All right, so close combat. The giant just manages. I think he yells and balls, and he knocks out those two cav right there, and I think he does a wound to a reaper. Actually, I'm not even sure he does a wound to the reaper. I think at this point you got to win by more than 2 for the winged reapers, and they just slide over. All right, so this is that combat. Like I said, he's got to kill off a lot of bulls to be able to do anything. He whiffed with the Colossus. It wasn't a very good combat for him. Even then, I don't do a ton of damage. I think I sneak through like a wound on the Colossus, but I do 4 or 5 wounds to the Shopties, and that was all I really cared about. So now he only has a single rank between the Colossus and the Shopties, so he's got to kill off a lot of tribesmen, and I've got a lot of scary things in that general vicinity. So here's me. I think the giant can take out the Sandstalkers. I mean, that's giant. Those guys only have 2 attacks at strength 5 apiece. It means they've only got 6 attacks total. Giant can do some nasty things sometimes. We'll see if he can do it this time. There's the Yetis. They're going to take out that Sand Scorpion. Hey, that thing is not long for this world. Yetis are impressive now. I like them a lot more than I did before. And here on the right side, Big Fat's going to plow into the Shopties, and the Ironclads are going to plow into the flank of the Shopties. And like I said, this is just going to go bad real fast. I mean, with the Frosthorn, he's going to make sure everybody over there strikes last because everything's going to be within 6 inches of him, and the rest of the army is just going to take care of these guys real quick. Oh, and I finally decided that I'm going to take out the swarms now. I think because the chariots can no longer see them if I take out the swarms, because I think that was kind of the issue for me. I didn't want the chariots to charge in. But I'm not sure if that even matters. I mean, these guys have 5 attacks apiece, poison, weapon skill 4. Even if chariots come in, let's say they do 9 wounds, I don't expect them to do that many. But I've got 15 poison attacks, strength 5, hitting on 3s. I mean, I can make a mess of that unit with just the front 3. So the swarm's not long for this world. And yeah, that's what that combat looks right there. That's not a good looking combat right there if you're an Undying Dynasties player. And I have to admit, Lil Ed was not upset by this. He knew the propensity for my giants to fail miserably, so he did not think I was going to win this one. And there's the Yetis moving up, just in case the slave giant failed. Over here, my gorgers pop onto the field, and they don't like the arc, so they're gonna take that thing out. Oh no, the swarms, they don't make it. What do you know? Yeah, I just wiped them out. And then reform, be able to face the rest of the combats going on. Giant takes a few wounds. I mean, the Reapers are much better than the Giant, so I don't think anybody expects the Giant to really win this one. But he's got 3 wounds until he dies, so good luck, Giant. Try to take some guys with you before you go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... Yeah. I just swung and destroyed everything. I'm not sure I did too much to the Colossus, but I know I wiped out the Shopties and the Scorpion, I think almost before they got to do anything. And that was just it. I think everything just popped from... The Colossus just popped from combat res. Oh, giant. So the giant did nothing, really nothing. It took a couple wounds for his trouble. But don't worry, there's always a next combat round. I'm sure he'll do better then. Here's turn 3. Oh, see, my opponent was taking away my dice. He wanted to use his own little counters. So the chariot's going to charge into the ironclad. Like I said, I've got that BSB in there. I think he's just got a ward save and a great weapon. But those chariots, yeah, the chariots. Over here, he's going to try to take out that Gorger before the Gorger can get to his arc. They make it in. It's not a very far charge. Swift stride, movement aid. It's no problem. And over here, that guy makes it in. Also, it wasn't much of a charge. Yeah, he throws out a ton of spells on those guys, trying to keep them alive. I have a banner that allows me to dispel at a level 2, and that's really it. I don't have any real magic defense. I have to admit, the reason I don't have any real magic defense is because when I was making this list, I was too lazy to download the new lores at the time. I think there had been an update in the time, and I just like, let's see if I can use some of this stuff and not have to deal with any magic. And so I just went character light. That's why. And there's the Gorger. He took a couple wounds. I think it's a combination of the archers in the building and the archers at the bottom of the screen that shot at him. But if you're counting, he's done a total of, I think, 3 wounds of shooting at this point. Granted, I'm toughness 5 across much of this board, but 3 wounds, that's a lot of shooting. Yep, giant dies, and the man-eaters were just a little too close to the giant for comfort, and decide that it was terrifying to see a slave giant that always dies, in fact, die. And the Winged Reapers just turn to face somewhere else for the troubles. Thanks, mercenaries. You guys are great. Ah, slave giant. So, out of 6 attacks, he did 3 wounds. And the giant just killed over and died. Because that's what my slave giants do. I thought it was great they died in the same turn, too. That's just terrible. I'm going to keep bringing these guys, though. So, on the other side, nobody did anything. I've got 5 attacks apiece. I think he's got 3 attacks of strength 6. And we did nothing to each other. Just kind of sat there and hugged. Now, on the other side of the table, he did some damage. I did some damage. He was hoping to do a lot more damage, and we just kind of hung around, just looking at each other. It's not going to go very well for him at this point. I mean, chariots, if they don't win the first round, they're stuck and they're just going to die. Oh, since the giant's dead, the Yetis have to take care of the problem. See, this was great. I thought that there was a problem because the giants are bad, and I've got the Yetis to deal with it. Come on, Yetis, you can take out the stalkers. And there's the other unit of Yetis. They're going to take out those archers. Gorger's going to take out an arc. And Big Fat's going to take on the Reapers. There are the Yetis, just getting in there. There's everything else, just getting into combat. Oh, and the Ironclad down there are charged chariots. Oh no, the Ironclad were in... Did I remove these guys over or something? Oh no, it's the bull unit with the Warlord was in there. Sorry about that. So, yep. Everything is in combat except for those Ogre Mercenaries, which rallied. Thanks, guys. I'm glad I put the musician in there, because they almost didn't rally. Yeah, the Stalkers just got blown up by the Yetis. I mean, they've got the additional hand weapons now, so 4 attack, strength 5 is nice. I mean, no impact hits, but the Vanguard is really nice for this beta. Yeah, I wiped out the skeletons, just absolutely destroyed them. Yep, and then they overran. That's not going to go well for those poor chariots. And it doesn't. There they go. And we do no combat, no damage whatsoever once again. I mean, 8 attacks between the two of us. You'd think that somebody would hurt somebody, but nope. And then that guy overruns into the Colossus. I should have done these combats in reverse. I didn't. All the damage you see there is from the arc blowing up. Actually, I think that Gorger behind has 2 wounds, not 1. It's probably the other die, and that's probably just an errant die sitting there. Yeah. So, yeah, the Big Fat just takes out a Winged Reaper right there. No problem. So this is what the table looks like at the beginning of turn 4. My opponent does not have a whole lot left. He's got the archers sitting in that building, a Winged Reaper, and 1 Soul Colossus. I have pretty much everything still, minus my giants, who are not pivotal in this plan. So there's the archers trying to get out of the building so that I don't charge the building. He gets some stuff off on the, who cares, on the Winged Reaper. Yep. Finally killed off the Gorger. I mean, finally did some damage. Killed off my guy, but combat res and a couple of wounds is what did the Soul Colossus in. So here, the Man-Eater, the mercenaries are going to take out that Winged Reaper. That's just going to be the end of him if I make this charge, which I do. And I'm just moving in. I mean, he's only got the 1 unit left. I mean, there's no real threat at this point. There goes the Reaper. Wow, there's some poison attacks right there. There's turn 5. He moves the archers back in. I think he flew the guy out. He had the I don't know. He can fly. I don't remember which Tomb King magic item it is, but he just popped the guy out, put him on the side of the Gorger right there, and said, "Nope, you can take the archers, but you're not gonna take my guy." But then he casts a spell, double sixes it, and dies. My opponent has a pretty good sense of humor. At this, like, we've long since passed a real game, so I mean, at this point, we were just throwing jokes around. It was a fitting way for the guy to die, because I was joking there. I don't think there was any way I was going to catch him, and he was determined to make sure I couldn't kill him. So he does a little bit of damage with the archers to the Yeti, but the Yeti's still alive. They're immune to Psych in this beta, so it doesn't do anything to the Yeti. Well, we didn't add up the points for this game because why? Not a lot of reasons to do that at this point. And I don't have a slide after this one. My thoughts on this game, well, it would have been a very different game if I hadn't killed that Prince early on. His Hierophant combined with the Prince would have gone very differently. I mean, particularly with the increased weapon skills. The way he's used that Prince, I know he's done very good things with it on some of the other tables. Here, I'm definitely flirting with disaster, not using any magic. It was nice with the banner. I'm not sure it's the correct way to use the banner. It's probably better if used in combination with a couple of level 2s. That way you could get a level 4 Dispel at the same time. But I used it for pure laziness, which I guess can work out well too. It didn't go too badly. My next game in this, I think, is a 10,000 point mega battle. It was a lot of fun. It went all day long. You'll see a lot of familiar faces in that one. It should be up next week. I'm going to start working on it tonight. We'll see how far I get with it. And that's all I have. So like the battle report, subscribe to the channel if you want. It's always great to see new faces. I've got to catch up with a few subscribers on here. And I hope everyone just take it easy. All right, bye.